This content is for kids.
It's not for kids.
Isn't that what I said?
No, it's not for kids. If you are 13 years or younger, this is not for you. Do I have to kill somebody in order to actually make that point across?
No, man, you don't have to kill no one.
Wait a second.
No.
We return to our planet. The High Court may well sentence you to torture.
He likes movies. We like movies. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. SeptumSin versus the world. I'd buy that for $1.
Greetings, you're watching SeptumSin versus the World. I'm SeptumSin. Today, we're doing another First Impressions, the show where I talk about a film on physical media once I've watched it for the first time, and, well, my first impressions of it. Today we're talking about In Search of Tomorrow, the newest in the In Search of series. Of course, they've been going everywhere. There's going to be a third In Search of Horror coming out soon. And of course, there's one they're doing on first-person shooters as well. So it's going to be a very interesting year for them next year. But the In Search of series is a series of documentaries where they go year by year, mostly in the 80s, and they cover 80s movies. In Search of Horror covers 80s horror. In Search of Tomorrow covers sci-fi. To my knowledge, this will be the only part of this. It has actors and directors from some of the various films, some cool things, like the guy who played The Last Starfighter, some of the people in Star Wars. You got a couple of people in these talking about the films. You also have a pretty cool dissection of a lot of these films, and as they talk about these films, they have vignettes where they talk about the important pieces of it, like practical effects. The space shuttle is a good example of one of those. I thought that this was very well done as a documentary is concerned. I love the thoroughness of it. It is a 5-hour documentary, so I guess it would be. 300 minutes long. And it has quite a few nice things. It has a little discussion on the special features for the creators of it. So not quite as many special features as the In Search of Horror series has been putting out, but still not too bad. It comes with a pretty hefty price tag, though, to get this thing physically, and that's understandable, though. They are really good documentaries. They are very much in depth. There's really not much when it comes to this other than how it's put together. And it's put together very well. I think that if you are a fan of 80s movies and 80s sci-fi in general, this will be a fan favorite right there. There's a reason why In Search of Darkness Part 2 won our Best Documentary feature in the First Versus Awards. I think that this format is great, especially if you love looking at movies. I think that's going to be a great thing. I'm sure they're going to move from the 80s to the 90s in the future, but I'm very much looking forward to In Search of Darkness Part 3, and this was a very enjoyable watch. If you are a fan at all about those types of 80s sci-fi films, this is a great film for you. You can probably get to stream it if you don't want to buy the physical. I like physical, so you know me. I like physical media. It has a nice little booklet in here, so that's something that you get to see in. And there is an alternative, like it's a, on here you got some pictures of some of the people there. Shoot, you had the original Chekhov in here. You had quite a few people that they got to interview for this. And I do like that they have an alternative cover as well on here. So, just something food for thought. Well, that's been my first impressions. I hope you have enjoyed this. If you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and share. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.